Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm today. Looking at the, believe it or not, we're coming up on the third week of December. Not sure where the year went, but it's almost gone. Christmas is just around the corner. Anyway, I'm over here getting several paddocks put in ahead of time, so I don't have to do this on the weekends. And I've already got 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be 4. And so what I've got here is a long, narrow rectangle I put in. This one here. It's about a quarter mile long. Goes back to the water that way. And I made it fairly wide. This one's probably, it's 150 feet, 150 feet wide. I usually make them about 80, but I found out by making them wider, I can have more of a square size paddock. You can see right down there, there's my reel. And I'm gonna hook on right down there where that other reel is with this one. So I'm trying to get a more square shape. Gives me a little better graze. And I don't have to string out as much wire. I'm only gonna use 150 feet of wire. There's my brace. I've already got it put in. There's my trusty slip knot. Folks, this knot is awesome. All it is the same knot you tie in your shoe with. People make it really complicated. Most people can't tie that knot. I don't know why it is, but most people can't tie it. Unless they really practice it a lot. And they just make it too hard. I don't know, it's a knot that I've invented, I guess. Nobody else. The thing I like about it is you can grab a hole right here. This is not hot, by the way. I don't have it hot yet. I'm gonna make it hot over there by that lake. But when you get done, you just take this and pull on it and the darn thing comes out. If you tie a knot in that and you put some tension on this, you're over there with your cold fingers trying to get that knot undone. It's not a good thing. I tell you what, folks, these bulls are just cranking. I've never seen our bulls look so good. I mean, we're in December. You got January, February, March, April, May. You got 5 more months before these are sold. And we're gonna be putting them up for sale here starting in January. And we're not, it's a 50% deposit, first come, first serve. When they're gone, they're gone. Last year we sold out pretty early and there was people begging for bulls and I didn't have them. We've got less this year. We just got a little bit more picky. But so far, every bull in here has not fallen behind. In other words, they're all just studs. And that's the thing we got last year, and people came to pick out the bulls. Pick out their bulls on June 1st. They had a hard time because, you know, we don't want people in there for an hour walking around looking for bulls when you got 25 people behind you waiting to pick out their bull. And so the way we did it, whoever got there first that morning, they went in. They didn't have their bulls picked out in 10 minutes. We dropped another one in right behind them. And people said, well, Greg, they all look the same. I'm like, good. You want them all to look nice and the same, you know, just nice average size bull. You know, this is a really nice bull. He's got a funky looking ear because when we tagged him as a calf, looks like he got a little infection in that ear tag, but he's still got his calf tag in him. But he is a chunk. I mean, that is one chunky bull. And, you know, pictures and videos never do him justice. That's a nice bull. There's a lot of good bulls in here. And they're gonna get better looking as the season goes along. But folks, we haven't fed a bale of hay yet. We're approaching January and no hay has been fed. We've still got the hay up. You can see it on the horizon. Not a single bale's been fed. And it's not gonna hurt me if I don't feed any. I know we will. But we've got it all stored up there on logs, oak logs. 6 to 8 inch diameters, and those bales are not touching the ground. You buy hay, you sure don't want to lose a third of it before you ever feed it. And yes, it takes a little time to do it, but it's the best money you can make that day is stacking those bales. And you notice the spacing on them? They're all spaced appropriately. We can take the great duty bale unroller, back up, pull the spike out and drive it in the bale. And you notice where they're stacked, they're up on that hill. Always put your bales on top of hills so that when you get snow or whatever, you get hooked onto that dude, you can pull it down this hill. If you have them all stacked down here by that lake, you're never going to get them unrolled going up the hill unless you have a 100-horse tractor, and then you destroyed your pasture. I hate ruts. I am not going to bring a tractor out here on this field. We don't have any ruts anywhere, and it's a good way to lose a lease. You go into a grazing lease, well, I'll just tell you straight up. One of the leases we got last year, a new one, the owner told me, said, Greg, I already had somebody ask about this, and I already told them, you're not wintering cattle on my farm. Because he saw how that guy treated his farm. He goes, I don't want my farm looking like his. And he said, to be honest with you, I'm not real crazy about even bringing him on the farm. And he just doesn't take care of his grass. Point bluntly, he doesn't take care of his grass. He just grazes it, uses the Columbus method, turns them in the spring and discovers them in the fall, and it looks like a putting green that fall. That's good, because he got it all. He got it all. And folks, that's a good way to go broke. Oh, there's a nice bull right there. Nice young bull. He was the 37th bull, 37th calf born in 2022. Oh, he is a dandy. Yep. You know, there's always going to be one or two that just shine. It's just the way it is. You know, not everybody can be Travis Kelsey or Jason, or what, Jason Kelsey's brother. Those two are studs, man. You know, they're the top of their class in the NFL. And not everybody can be that. The same way on bulls. Not everybody can be the perfect bull. But I'm gonna tell you, the more I look at 237, it's like, golly. And folks, we don't have our 5 best in here. Might as well cover that. Why aren't the 5 best bulls in here? Our machos, the 2022s, the best. Well, I'll tell you why. This probably ought to be a separate video. And I think I'm gonna leave it right there, because that needs to be a separate video. I'll cover that. I'll leave you all hanging on that one. Why did we take out the 5 machos? And there's a good reason, and it's gonna make sense when you hear it, but it's a whole topic, and I'm already at, I don't like going longer than 8 or 9 minutes, and I'm already past that. So plus I got to get down on that brush. That brush has got calling my name, and I did have to give a shout out to all the folks. You know, I did put out a video, I don't know when it was, Tuesday. Yeah, the one on spraying, and I normally get about 30 to 40 comments. I think I got over 300 on that one. 95% of y'all kudos on it, and there were some people that were really upset. And you know, they attacked, and you could tell which people those were. They were the ones that were spraying. And all I'm saying is, you know, I'm not saying you got to quit spraying. I'm just like, you know, there's a crop farmer got on there, and next crop farmer, he said, Greg, you nailed it. They don't want to admit it, but you nailed it. They're spraying so many times a year now, it's just darn ridiculous. And we've killed everything. There's no insects left. If they see anything in the field, they spray. You go out in cropland in the growing season, you can smell it. It's just everywhere. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I realize, you know, somebody said, well, Greg, you need to go back and live in a cave. Well, do we? I'm not living in a cave, and I'm not spraying. And I've got good feed out here for my animals. The animals are healthy, I'm healthy. The environment around me is healthy. The landowners are healthy. They like what we're doing and we're not spraying. And he goes, well, Greg, you use chemical. You know, what about your crossbow? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I am. I'm using chemical. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I don't. I'm painting a stump the size of my thumb with a paintbrush, so that thing doesn't come back and look like this in 5 years. So he's right. I am using a chemical. But you know what? I'm not selling that stump to somebody to eat. We're spraying crops today to get them to die all evenly at the same time so we can combine them. Now, what the heck? Why would you spray a wheat field? You know you're going to combine it. That's going into flour and other things. We saw it in Idaho. They're spraying lentils. I thought it got frosted on. We stopped in town. Guy, oh no, there's big spray rigs everywhere going spraying lentils. Oh no, he said they're making them dry down so they can combine. I'm like, wait a minute, we got to eat that lentil. Oh yeah, he said they wash it off. You know, it's washed off. It's like, what? What do you mean it's washed off? That plant was growing when they sprayed it. It got into the seed, the lentil seed. Don't give me that crap. So I'm not going to back down. This is America. We have a right to say what we want. And somebody says, thanks a lot, Greg, for attacking the farmers. Well, I wasn't attacking as much as I was explaining that we need to look at what we're doing. But at the end of the day, they all say, well, we're going to, we can't feed the world doing what you're doing, Greg. Can't feed the world doing this. Okay, whatever. At the end of the day, I've known a lot of people that's gotten cancer, and a lot of them are crop farmers, and they're not very old. It's taken a lot of people and ended their life because they're subsisted to this crap. And I did a consult on a large ranch. I think they were farming 30,000 acres, row cropping. And the father finally put his foot down. They're spending over $1 million a year on chemicals. Going through a spray rig that sprayed 120 feet, one pass. They'd wear one out in about 1.5 years, 2 years. They'd get another one. $750,000. And the kid that was spraying was his son. And one of the kids was, let's just put it this way. He had severe autism. I'm not sure the other one might have been actually severely handicapped. And his house is right in the middle of the fields where he's spraying. And the son says, Greg, you know how hard it is to kill something that wants to grow? They were doing chem fallow. They were spraying chemicals on fallow ground because the chemical companies had convinced them that's what they had to do if they were going to make a living in Montana. Spray it. And on 30,000 acres, he'd get it all sprayed just in time to start over again. Finally, the father said, this is crazy. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not going to kill my grandchildren, my son and his family, and spend $1 million a year on chemicals and make nothing. Yeah, so they changed. They went to cover crops, actually raising cover crop seed. And they were getting into cattle, livestock production, and grazing covers and things like that. And I say kudos to them. They decided they weren't gonna destroy their health just because a chemical company said to spray it. And the reason they told them to spray it, they had to conserve the moisture. They didn't want the weeds growing, eating up the precious moisture, so you gotta spray that stuff. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna get a bunch more hate mail off of this one. That's all right. I don't care. I'm just gonna say it the way it is. This is my channel, and if you don't like it, you know what? You can hit that unsubscribe button and just move on and go over to the other channel. There is some channels out there, the Greg Judy hater channels. You can go to one of them. There's a whole bunch of people out there. And those are all people I've banned from our platform because they cussed. They used some really nasty words and started cussing. I'm like, you know what? You're done. I will not allow you to cuss on my channel. This is a family channel. If you want to cuss, you go somewhere else and do it. You're not doing it on my channel. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I've got some brush to cut over here and move some bowls, and we'll see y'all next time. Hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thank you.